And we're back. What's up, everybody? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. Oh no, Keith. Yeah, it's me. The realist, the guy who tells you the truth, even if it hurts. The guy who refuses to spit out any hopium, no matter what you say. Tis I, just Keith. So, we got our regular time back, 10 p.m. East Coast time. Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to Crypto After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit the like button. Costs absolutely nothing. Hit the like button while you're there. Subscribe. I get the stats given to me by the streaming platforms that we use, X, Rumble, and YouTube. Tells me that most of you guys who watch don't subscribe. Subscribe. It's free. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. While you're there, share it around so everybody else can see it. The more people who see this, the more people we can help. Rob shows 478. I was just heading to bed and I saw this link pop up. Well, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I'm glad you stuck around. We did a late night stream tonight. Why? Well, I had to take my kid to the dentist this afternoon. Couldn't make the normal show. In between that, I had the concrete guy here doing my driveway. We're trying to widen the driveway a little bit because, in case your kids didn't know, I got a 15-year-old who's about to be 16, who's about to be driving, and we don't have enough room to park in our little bitty parking lot, little bitty driveway that we have. One of the drawbacks of living in the neighborhood I live in, while we have amenities and it's nice and we appreciate living here, we have small parking area, right? So we've got to make do with what we've got. So got to have it widened out a little bit. So being widened now, and it should be done by the weekend. We'll see. We'll see how fast Felipe can get to it. I think he'll get to it. Felipe's a real good guy. So what we're going to start off with here right off the bat is good old Bitcoin. I've talked about this ad nauseum, but we're going to hit it one more again. I want everybody to be able to follow along with the price action as we go here. I want nobody to miss anything. By the way, the jazz has been a little low. Let's bump that jazz up a little bit. I notice I can barely hear it. Then you guys can barely hear it. I hope that's not too loud, but I bumped it up about 5 decibels, right? It was almost invisibly low before. So if the jazz is too loud, somebody just let me know and I'll fix it. Anyway, so when we were on our last live stream on Tuesday, we had a monster day to close the day. Told everyone that I was hoping that we'd have a nice monster day, and we did. We have that big volumatic push that I was really, really looking for. That big volume push that we had on Tuesday moved us up over the previous high and got us up to a, you got it, new high. We needed that new high to solidify an uptrend, and as you see right there, we got it. Now there's some negative drawbacks to creating a new high. Whenever you create a new high like this, often you'll have bears in hot pursuit looking to grab any liquidity that they possibly can, and we had some come in. So over the last day, you see right there with the red candle, that bearish engulfing that you see right there, bears came roaring back. They didn't want to just give up the goods and walk away. As I told you guys, we had liquidations between 97 and 98,000. As you see, those are no longer on the chart. Why? Because they were wasted. TKO to those shorts. Problem is a couple more piled in on top of that, but it's nothing like that was there. So where do we go from here? Well, as long as we maintain the previous high that we created back here and we stay over that previous high, we're doing all right. We could create a higher low in here, just like we did right here, a higher low. And there's our previous lows down here, higher low. So you had your original low, then your higher low, higher low, higher low. Excellent. That's a slow sweeping uptrend, which is exactly what we want to see with our volume coming in that we really needed that we didn't have. We were getting very, very slow and choppy candles that were just easily crushed. While we did have a bearish engulfing close at the end of the day today, which was yesterday, today is a new candle already. Starts at 8 p.m. What's up, Cody Kensel? What's up, Buster? Good to see you, fellas. that bearish engulfing locked us in and showed that we weren't exactly out of the woods, and I'll go a little deeper on that. First, we'll start with the Ichimoku cloud. Why? Because, well, on Tuesday, going into Wednesday, I talked about how the top of the cloud would be important. And sure enough, I want you to look where the price is. Playing with the top of the cloud, smacking back and forth around in here. Can't quite decide whether it wants to be over the cloud or under the cloud, all right? Obviously, for a 4 out of 4 situation and the best look that we could get, we want to see all 4 check marks. We want to see the price over the cloud being the final check mark, and the price is falling back into the clouds. So we have 3 out of 4. We have the lag line over the candles, good. We have the green cloud on the end, good. We have the conversion line over the baseline, good. And then when it comes to price being over the cloud, well, that's the only note. So only drawback we've got right now is the fact that the Ichimoku cloud, top of the cloud, doesn't want to budge just yet. We are, to counter that, over R2 right here on our pivot points. These are sort of predetermined stop and go points along the way. And R stands for resistance. And as you see, we broke it. And we are back testing it now. So this is still okay. Not to mention if we throw in something else like the 821 EMA. Look, we are way over the 821 EMA here. We have a good bit of room for this thing to be able to rest back, potentially come back and back test that EMA and still be over the hump. Something to add to the problems. That 100 moving average continues to act like a stiff arm, right lined up with the top of the Ichimoku cloud that you saw a moment ago. There you go. And it's kind of creating a pinch situation where we got this 821 EMA pinching up, and we got the 100 moving average pressing down. You haven't broken out through it. You haven't gotten over that last speed bump yet, or the next speed bump, which gets you to the 200 moving average. Now, are we going to get to this 200 moving average? I've only seen a few get up there. What's up? Yeah, it says sold most of my holding into stablecoin on that last push up. Everything looks like it was hit resistance. Yeah, I took some profits myself. What's up? What's up, Alvin? Good to see you, brother. Yeah, that last push up was interesting, and we did get some overbought conditions, which is what I was going to talk about next. Bitcoin tickled overbought. Now, it didn't stay there. It didn't do what it did down here and go very, very oversold. It did not go very, very overbought. It just tickled the top of the range right there and slowed up a little bit. So long as we stay over the previous high, we stay over the AEMA, any red here can still be absorbed just like it was back here on this fade back when the price came back to the 50 moving average and the 821 EMA right there. What's up, Jag? Good to see you, brother. Just like it did right there. We can hold the line right there. We're solid. We just got to see it hold the line. We can't see it roll back below those 821 EMA. 50, we can't withstand a punch like that. And we're going to talk about some here in a moment that have already done that. And it's very, very disappointing. We'll talk about some that look good. But I wanted you to see Bitcoin first. I wanted you to understand what I saw. Let's go over to the Bitcoin CME chart, which looks different. Why? Because the CME chart closes over the weekend, so the price action is slightly different. You're just now over the 821 EMA and the 50 moving average on your CME chart. You're not even close to the 100 and the 200 way up there, which are at about 102 and 104,000 as you see on the right up there. You got plenty of room to go for the price to get up there. Ichimoku cloud on this one, well, you just now broke into the cloud. You still don't have a green cloud on the end. You do have your lag line over the candles. That's good. And you do have your conversion over the base. That's good. So you only got 2 out of 4 as opposed to 3 out of 4 on the regular chart. CME chart closes tomorrow and will be closed for the weekend again. We'll see. We'll see if this thing has time to come back and turn the corner here and try to make some damage. And what you'll notice here as well with your RSI and your MACD, you didn't even come close to overbought on the CME yet. That's why I don't think this move's quite done yet, but it may see some slowdowns in the process. Nonetheless, what we got Tuesday and Wednesday was great. I hate to see the slowdown happen today. Par for the course, you can have everything you want. Also, my little green box up there where the liquidation was hit almost perfectly. Not perfectly, but I had that down on the 1 hour scalping that. So it came really, really close. And that's all you can kind of ask, right? You can't really ask for perfection. You just try to get as close as you can. So that's how I see Bitcoin right now. Give it some time. Let's see. I make sure I didn't miss anything. Didn't. Sweet. So how about we look at something that looks a little better than Bitcoin, something that has tried a little harder, Ethereum. So it's a little different and better and worse, but I want to say better, and I'll show you why. So this is that previous high that we haven't quite cracked yet, right? And you could say, hey, on Wednesday it actually did. And I would agree with you, it did. Problem is it needs to hold it. It can't just shoot one candle up there and say, oh, a new high. I need you to prove it, right? And then the prove it day came, which was yesterday, and she rolled over. Didn't like it. And if you put your moving averages up here, look, same thing where it's hitting that 100 moving average and sort of rejecting. Now, the difference was the gains on this candle that came in on Tuesday were almost 30% higher than the gains that came in on Bitcoin, which is excellent. It's exactly what we want to see. We want to see more volume from the lower caps, meaning that they're getting their own money brought in. It's not necessarily money just going to Bitcoin all the time. And Bitcoin dominance going up is a sign that most of the money is still going over there. I didn't even show that yet, but it's happening, right? Same pinch between the 100 moving average in blue right there and the 821 EMA. Same pinch happening. If you go over here to the RSI, you still didn't get to overbought, still have room to go there. Your MACD still has fairly solid divergence heading upward here, and you're in your good zone. Over the midline, still green volume, even though it's a red day. Not terrible. Ichimoku cloud, you are 4 out of 4. Lag line over. Green cloud on the end. Price over the cloud. And conversion line over the baseline. That is 4 out of 4. Excellent. You love to see it. It rarely happens when we get 4 out of 4 on there. I hit the wrong button. It says have a fucking stop loss. And that couldn't be more correct. Please, everybody, have a fucking stop loss. Because if you don't have one, you're bound to lose. And you're bound to lose to someone who you don't want to lose to. Which is awesome. I forgot I put that button on there. What other ones do I have on here? I still got the rocket one. It's kind of corny. It's not that cool. I got rid of the trash one because it wasn't that good. I need to add some more gifts on here. I still have the Ha Ha Nelson. Yeah, that one's pretty good. And I have Bone Thugs and Harmwave. That's just for the first of the month. And it's the 15th. The second check comes in, but not the good first check of the month. So I'm glad to see Ethereum 4 out of 4. Hold the line here. Much improved, and that's why I say it's much improved. A little better than Bitcoin. Still work to do, but better than it was. Where would you put your alert on ETH for adding back? I keep most on ETH. Closing above the 100 moving average would be a good sign. Or back to the 8 EMA would be a risky take to add back here, but it also would be at a discount. So I'm trying to be careful. What I've done is I've kind of took the position of if I'm going to take profits, I'm going to buy something that's a little less risky. So I've been taking my money and buying tokenized assets with it, Google and Tesla and stuff like that. I'd rather buy those, I think, Apple stock. I'd rather buy those than take a risk on buying altcoins. And honestly, for what it's worth, I think we're going to see some slow ups here when Bitcoin hits that weekly 50 moving average. So I don't really know if I want to put a bunch of money in something that's only got a couple percent left in it. Whereas I think that Tesla and Apple are going to be around for a really long time. And it's a little less volatile than Bitcoin. So I think those are the safer plays for me, which is what I've been doing. 50 MA back, that's what I was saying, that 50 MA back test. Yeah, that's exactly the point Alvin just brought up as well. It's a little dicey to think that it ain't going to go up there and hit the wall and slow down some. You know what I mean? I got to be careful. All right, so done Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's do XRP. And then after we do XRP, I've got some highlighted ones here that either came off of our screener or had people ask about. And then we'll jump into some top assets, right? So here's XRP. Similar situation to where it was on Tuesday before the big green candle came in. She erased every bit of gains that she made on that Tuesday by rolling back over Wednesday and yesterday. Bang, bang, right back where you were. Wait a minute zone again. Pinched between that 100 moving average and the 50. However, this one is in between the 8 and the 21 EMA where that wait a minute zone is. So it's slightly worse off than the others. Weekly gnarly candle that came in last week. And then this week, you're also pressed right up under the 8 EMA. Honestly, I had some XRP. I think I'm going to get rid of it. I'm in the profits. I think I'm going to get rid of it and move on. I don't see a ton of gains in this. I don't think we're printing back to all-time high anytime soon. While it could, and I would love to see that, I don't expect that. And if it jumps over that 821 EMA and wants to break the 100, well, that's awesome. You can have no problem getting back in for a very minimal price difference. But I haven't seen enough to move the needle for me to make the determination that this thing's going to go way up. It's a really, really, really struggle hard chart. This has happened before. XRP really historically only has a couple months out of 4 years where it's worth having. I've said that 1,000 times and people haven't listened to me on that point, but it's the truth, right? There's only a couple months out of the entire time for 4-year cycle that's even worth having any XRP at all. It slows up really, really rapidly when it slows up. Once it's had its move, it tends to just step away and walk away for a while. And lows will come in. And when new lows come in, I think they're going to come in somewhere around this green box down here. It may be a while before that happens. I think it may be toward the end of the summer. I think we may get down here in the 160 range again and may challenge something else a little lower. We'll see. I don't want to get that far ahead of myself, but until I see some more breakouts and snappy price action, and that's something they can maintain, I'm a little leery of it. The cloud's about to flip back red. You're about to go 4 out of 4 red again. You have 1 out of 4 right now. And if your oscillators don't tell a story, overbought, and then bam. This is what we didn't see Bitcoin and Ethereum do yet, right? Go overbought. And that's a great sign that you probably need to think about scaling out a little bit when you go overbought. Your MACD has started to curl over. Not a good sign. You're seeing a lot of negative signs here. So for me, right now, XRP, simply a no. I can't go risking the biscuit for something that doesn't look good enough. Is what it is. You know what I mean? All right. Grab something to drink. You guys ask what I drink. It's a zero sugar Monster. There you go. Zero sugar. I try to limit my sugar intake some. I'm not perfect, but I do try to knock down on the sugar some when I can. I got sweet tea over here, but I put about half the amount of sugar that I normally put in it. And for a Southerner, y'all know that means something. USDT, one more dip in the 786 income. Yeah, we very well could see another push for stable coins as well. Let's hit VET right here. So VET continues to ride the trend up right here. For now, she's inside the cloud, but looking rough. You did fall back under the 821 and 50 moving average. The only thing you got going for you here is that the last few times it's done this, it pushed out and got going again. Just be careful. It is building itself into a flag here. I'd like to see it break north, but it's threatening to break south. So be careful. I am in profits on this one. Keto Keith. I don't know if I can do keto, bro. Maybe carnivore diet. I don't know. Even that's tough. So anyway, we're looking a little bearish here, and I need to see this thing flip back into the positive. You're about to have the MACD cross down. That's not good enough. Your RSI never went overbought, so it's got more room, but leaning on the bearish side, we need to see volume jump back over, and this wedge that it's building, I need to see it break to the north and attempt to attack that 100 moving average that it never really got to. Sugar minute, he said sugar-free and intermittent fasting made all the difference to him. See, that's what I'm saying. I already do the intermittent fasting. But cutting back on the sugar is a big deal. You know what I mean? I'm also getting older. I'm not stupid, man. I'm almost 42. Got to keep the sugar down. Or I am 42. I'm almost 43. Damn, bro, the time flies. So yeah, I got to be careful, a little bit more mindful of the health as I get older. You know what I mean? Just a little bit. AVAX. AVAX was covering good ground. Hit the 236 fib, and boy, did it reject angrily. Massive pushback in the last 2 days back into the wait a minute zone. It did look good. It swallowed up every bit of that volume that it made on Tuesday. Back into the wait a minute zone is not good enough. Need to see this hold the line. Now, it still is over the 50 moving average. It still is in the wait a minute zone, so it could be worse, right? But it immediately should make you leery. Your RSI still trending up. Your MACD still not bad, but it is starting to look like it wants to point down. I don't like that. Not good. I need to see that continue on its way there and not roll over and give up. Let's see. Rob says I'm 54. Ah, bro, I get it. You're gonna have to go to bed soon. Your wife's gonna whoop your ass. But yeah, I'd say AVAX has slowed down a lot here. I didn't want to see that big of a pullback, but it is what it is. You're still 3 out of 4 on the cloud, right? Lag line over, conversion over base, that's good, and your green cloud on the end. You just need the price out of the cloud. Technically, you should probably do what you want. Not financial advice. I'm in this one. I'm going to give it a day or 3 to think it out here. If it can try to hold the line and maybe take another swing back up with this 236, I'll probably cut some profits from it. It never got to that 100 moving average, just like VET and some others. You know what I mean? SUI. So I've already gobbled some profits on SUI here. Same thing, pinned by the 100 moving average, and I'm hoping that it does this move right here on AVAX and the others, that it makes that sweep up and attacks the 100 moving average, maybe even a second time. For now, SUI's pressed back down, kind of pinned under the 8 EMA here. Slowed up a good bit, but not the end of the world. I may end up taking some more profits on it if it closes here in the wait a minute zone, because that would be 2 under the 8 EMA. Not selling all, but taking some profits on it. And your weekly, hey, could be worse, right? You did jump the 8 EMA, and you are in the wait a minute zone in the weekly, but this is a couple sketchy candles in a row, so walk softly. Makes me immediately go, for that reason. And also, look, you went overbought. That's when I took some profits. That's why I took some profits. That and it hitting the 100 moving average in a hurry. I was like, all right, I got to get some money out of this. Same thing with the MACD. You have started to roll over. It looks like it's about to cross over into the red. But again, as long as it stays over the 21 EMA, wait a minute zone just means wait a minute. So I shall continue to wait. Ordinals. So ordinals, I also got some profits on. On Tuesday, I told you guys, I was like, wow, 20% during the stream. It ended up closing over 30. I took profits up there at the red line. It's slowed down heavily since. Shot another candle up there yesterday, but during all that sell pressure, it did roll back, unfortunately. Now it's brewing over the 8 EMA. Are you going to continue to hold the line here? We shall see. Look at that weekly. Perfect tap on the weekly 21 EMA. Are you going to continue going forward here and working back toward another higher low overall? Are we going to break the 21? Are we not? Well, for now, it's still in the not terrible category at all. You're over the 8, 21, 100, 50, everything but the 200. You did not go overbought. Look at that. That's why I didn't sell at all. Just took some profits. And MACD, you continue to trend up with solid volume. Even during the red, it's gobbling up some of this and not necessarily quitting. You're still 3 of the 4 in the cloud. You never got quite over the cloud, so some confluence to be had there still. And it did jump back inside the Bollinger Bands, so you like to see it stay over the bands, and it didn't. Not the end of the world, right? I appreciate you guys interacting and watching. That's awesome. If you haven't done so, man, go hit the like. It's free. Costs absolutely nothing. Hit like over here, and it helps us get out to the algorithm. If there's one thing I can tell you, it's that algorithms have been severely suppressed recently. I went from thousands of views to 100 or 200 views, and I didn't do anything any different. In fact, I even saw a trend of people telling me to no longer get the blue check mark, that was actually limiting, in certain cases, limiting view so that people wouldn't see you as much. And I thought, darn, should I really bail on what the algorithm says? But if that's the case, that means the algorithm changed. Yeah, well, if the algorithm changed, then I got to change. And it's not much different for YouTube, right? We've seen a heavy taper off on views over on YouTube. One would call it shadow banning, and I don't know if I even want to call it that. I think it's more so just people moved over to Polymarket and would rather gamble on Polymarket and DraftKings instead of putting it into crypto. I think they got screwed over pretty hard on crypto. They never really came back. So it's what it is, man. All right, let's go through some of these ones that we have on the list here. So what I'm going to show you here is, all right, over in our Discord, we have an assassin screener, so we call it. Basically what it does is goes through the charts automatically for you. It screens everything that's on KuCoin. There's almost 1,000 pairs on KuCoin, right? 1,000 different coins. It screens them all and goes through and finds out which ones are long, which ones are short, and which ones are kind of getting there and kind of not. And it assigns a score to them. The higher the score, the better. right? So if you get 7, that's a good score. If you get a 3, not so good. In fact, there's so many 3s that we don't even show anything past the 4 or 5, right? So once you get like 4 or 5 good check marks, what starts to pop up on the list? In fact, we also have that for shorts as well. So when you start seeing things go heavily down, you'll start to see that short number increase, 5, 6, 7. And when there's 7s, you'll see that almost everything on the list is a 7. So went through the assassin screener and pulled off some ones that are 7 or 6 here. And this is Chill Guy. Chill Guy here, and I don't own any of this. I don't own any of these. Just reading straight off this assassin screener here. So a Chill Guy broke the 58, 21, 100, and then back tested the 100 right now after a really rough day yesterday, but it's still hanging out right there. Look at the weekly. She jumped back into the wait a minute zone, back tested the weekly 8 EMA, and for what it's worth, looks a lot better than most. See what I'm seeing? That from that bottom down here, when this thing broke the 821 EMA, that was a 24% move to now. But before that, you were up 40% on that just by using the basic stuff here. And we also have an AI screener in there as well. You can put it in AI, and it'll kind of give you an assessment, an AI assessment that kind of helps you out with it. Totally up to you. Part of the Discord. It's included along with it. And if you'd like access, it's right down below. There we go. Right down below. I hit the wrong button. Hold on. There we go. Hit the wrong button. It's right down below right here. WAP.com/team786. Very simple and easy to use. But I wanted you to see that it looked better than most. And for that matter, how about Chili's? This is an old school one, dude. We haven't, like, I remember Chili's last bull run. I probably made $1,000 or $2,000 on Chili's. It was awesome. Look at this thing rip. It blew through every moving average and has not stopped since. Since it broke the 821 EMA with this one big humongous candle right here, it's up 58% since your confirmation. Since it crossed the 50 moving average, it's up 86% as we speak, and it hit a peak of 102%. This is a 7 out of 7 on the Assassin Screener, but I will warn you, look at that thing, super overbought. These are about the times I try to look for profit taken. You have a golden cross. That's one of the very few golden crosses that we've seen. Chili's has absolutely killed it recently. EDU, never even heard of this one until I saw it on the screener. There we go. All right, so a little less tame, a little more tame, a little less exotic looking. You are over every moving average, the 200, the 50, the 100, the 821, and consolidating to the side. And I wanted you to see this one because it looks different than others. That also jumped the weekly 50 moving average that it hasn't been over since December of 24. Could be something, could not, but it's worth noting. And I saw it on the screener and thought, hey, man, that'd be cool for everybody to see. HTX. And again, I don't own any of these. I'm just spitting them out there because I saw them on the screener. 821 cross down here. Excellent. You are up 5.5% since that 821 cross. You've broken the 50 moving average, and you've almost hit that 100 moving average that you saw Bitcoin, Ethereum, SUI, and several others do. Really nice looking print right here. I'd like to see it keep going. We already did ETH. One more. Here is PAL. PAL, since an 821 cross down here at the bottom, you are up 112%. Incredible. There are very few of these out there, but this thing jumped the 821, the 50, hit the 100, failed, held the 8 EMA the whole time. Do you see that? Really, really impressive. Held the 8, held the 8, held the 8, and is still over it right now. 112% up is a heck of a ride. Peaked out. See that right there? That would have been a good take profit moment and was also all the way at the very tip top high right there. That's why we use the RSI. Really, really interesting, and it's been on the Assassin Screener for several days here. I didn't buy any, but it was really interesting to watch. I have a trust issue with some of these alts, but that's why we leave everybody their own thing and let you do what you want, make up your own opinion on it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Bested right there said, run the list on AI charts. What do you mean? Chile isn't associated with soccer. None of that matters to me. You know that. It's all about the charts to me. So Now that we've talked about crypto, I want to jump over into some other stuff. Let's look at some traditional assets before we get off of here. It's already 10:30, and I usually only do 30 minutes these days. I said I would only do 30 minutes till the market started picking back up. And while it has picked up a little bit, market's still pretty shit, let's be honest. But the market is not shit for top assets. What do I mean by top assets? I mean the Magnificent Seven, the biggest indices of them all, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, the Russell. Let's look at them real quick. I monitor this every day. I don't just do crypto. That's the thing that's a stigma, right? Because we do crypto after dark, crypto before dark, right? That's how we got our start. But I mean, I monitor this every day. I don't ever take my eyes off this, right? You're still over the 8 EMA for the S&P 500. After that big drop off in November, she gobbled every bit of that back up and has cruised toward all-time high. Still hanging out there right now, still over the 8 EMA. Let's see where it closes tomorrow. NASDAQ, you have broken out, back tested the trend line, and now you're playing around with the 821 EMA. You didn't make a new high that you made all the way back in October yet, as you see, but it's still poised in position to. Not bad at all. How about the Dow Jones? The Dow Jones made a new all-time high just a couple days ago on Monday. It did slow up and throw a hammer candle and pop right back up yesterday off that 8 EMA. Let's see where it closes. I bet it throws another inside candle and continues to boil, but we'll see. There's a lot of turmoil in the world. People like to blame the turmoil on everything and say that's why charts go down. And it's not. It's more so all about trends. And this thing's still trending up. So since it's trending up, I'm going to leave it be. I think it's still got more wings. Let's see where it ends up. The Russell 2000, top 2,000 assets, right? Big run up. Look at this. New all-time high. Still printing. Still ripping. Yeah, she's overbought. But look at that thing go. And for what it's worth, it's done this before and kept going. We can throw a fib on this and see that we have clipped the 1618. So not only are you overbought, but you've started to get overextended here a little bit toward your extensions on your fibs, which are also take profit markers. Now, I'm not saying run away from this because, hey, she's on a rip, but it is worth noting that if you don't have a stop loss, someone will take your money. So set a stop loss. Where's your limit where you're going to go, all right, you went it down enough. Make up your mind. ADMA is great for that. Your choice. You do what you want to do. Semiconductors, one of the most talked about things in the world, continues to show out yesterday. Massive gap up on the chart. I think it was 3.5% at one point in one day. That's a ton of money for a semiconductor fund like SMH, Venex Semiconductors. New all-time high, closed up near 400. It flirted with $400. It was at 403 at one point. Very impressive. How about Apple? So Apple's played back and forth. She's still giving a pretty big discount. Believe it or not, I got 4,500 impressions on this one, which is crazy. But for now, she's still way down, and this is why I think I got those impressions. She's down 10% from the highs. So an annual good return for a fund, if you were to invest your money, is 10 to 15% is considered doing great. If just back to all-time high for Apple is 10%. If you think Apple's got more all-time high left in it, well, there's your 10%. You did it on your own without having to pay a commission. It is playing with the 100 moving average right now and the trend line, so she could be rolling over to quit. But look at that oversold condition. Holy smokes. Now you see why I had to buy some. And if I sell XRP, I very well may put my money into this. I'm not a fan of holding on to things that don't look good. But that oversold, that catches my attention. Tesla. So Tesla's been back and forth up here flirting with all-time high, consolidating, going dead sideways since September. Would have been worth it just to leave it alone. She is underneath the 821 and 50, but it's still over the 100 and the trend line here. It has slowed up some. Discount coming in again, potentially. Probably. I still think she gets to 600. She tickled 500, and she's down 15% from all-time highs. So, hypothetically speaking, if you took your money and you split it up between Tesla and Apple, you're going to get about a 12.5% return if both of those go back to all-time high, which is great. That's just about what a fund would get you with no commissions. Makes sense? Amazon, still kicking ass. Had a very, very good few days run up. It did slow down, but again, still well over everything. Didn't quite make a new all-time high. The only thing you're not over is the 8 EMA. You're in the wait a minute zone. It did go overbought just barely. It just tickled. No, actually it didn't. It got really close to overbought. It didn't do it. And your MACD threatening to go back down, but more sideways than anything. Let's see if it can get back over the hump on Friday. If so, then you could have another big week coming. Here's Google. She made a new all-time high just the other day. Just like VanEck Semiconductors, you see her continue to print. Blame it on what you want to blame it on. I don't care. The blame game is not my game. Still over the 8 EMA. Let's see if we have a good Friday. If we can hold the 8 EMA Friday, we may see a good, strong open on Monday. Facebook, Meta, boy, did she lay over. Tried that 200 moving average and never made it. Failed, rolled back under the 821 and 50 moving average. Look how oversold that joker was. Wow. Right? It's going towards it again. Is it going to be double oversold or triple oversold? We're going to see. It's a no for me right now. Microsoft is interesting. Look what we got on Microsoft. Just about oversold again. Microsoft to all-time high. To all-time high on Microsoft. 18%. So, if you have faith in Microsoft, Tesla, and Apple, you could take some money, buy those, and get a pretty decent return if any of those three went back to all-time high, and a really good return if all three went back to all-time high. Not bad at all. That's a heck of a discount. It could continue to go down more as well. Look, you're under every moving average, right? So we could see even more slowdowns here. But, hey, man, that's a heck of a discount. It is lower lows and lower highs. Mind that, please, and know that it could go down farther. NVIDIA, sneaky. She was showing short. Now it jumped back over the moving averages. Kind of what I want to see Tesla do. Consolidating for now. Your moving averages and stuff are all dead sideways, so are the oscillators. Bollinger Bands, they're going to squeeze here. And when they squeeze, we should get volatility in. I like it to the upside. A couple more here, and we get out of here. Palantir continues to go sideways after a big run up. Squeezing in here with the moving averages. Looks like it may be short, but just like NVIDIA, we may see that trickery pop back up. Boiling for the most part. You can see this thing all just coming over to a flag right here. Oscillators are all slowed down, pointing downward, so I lean toward downward. Prove it by closing a couple candles over, and then I'll change my mind. United Healthcare, you had a pretty good candle yesterday. She's battled back, pinned underneath the 200 moving average. That hammer candle could push us over the 200. Keep your peepers on it. eBay, hell of a day, hell of a week. Look at that run back up toward all-time high. This is what I think we could see out of NVIDIA, Microsoft, Google, and Tesla. Oh, sorry, not Google, Apple and Tesla. Really, really aggressive hook on this right here. Almost all-time high, not quite. You are a little bit overbought right here. You can see that there. So be careful. Could make a lower high and slow down even more. Last one, Johnson & Johnson. Holy smokes. Look at that rip right there. Hit flu season. A lot of people got sick. Johnson & Johnson, they're not going to lose for long. Whether it's soap, flu shots, or Band-Aids, they're going to get you. New all-time high, still ripping at 219 right now, and the fibs say she could go all the way to 225. Holy smokes. What a rip. That being said, we've been on here over 30 minutes. Then I did a little bit longer stream on purpose because I wanted everybody to see a little bit more. I wanted to show something different, give everybody a look at the top assets there. Andrew Ionescu, good to see you, brother. I'm sorry I missed you on there. Glad you hopped on. It was a little bit at the end there. I didn't see the comment. I'm sorry. But hey, listen, we had about 200 people show up tonight. That's dope. We normally don't get a lot. That's okay. Is what it is, man. I don't control the algorithm. I just keep doing what I'm doing. People can love it or people can hate it. I appreciate y'all all being here. That's awesome. We'll be back again on Tuesday. We may start doing late streams all the time. It may become a thing that I'm going to have to do. Boys are getting a little older. Things are changing around the house. Wife's working on her doctorate degree. You guys know that. So she's changed her schedule around a little bit. It's a hectic world, right? I got a serious thing I got to debate my own self. So, well, yeah, one step at a time, we'll get to where we need to go. Nonetheless, I'm not going anywhere. I'll be here doing this all the time. I appreciate every single one of you guys showing up. As always, thank you guys. Sky's the limit. See y'all on Tuesday. Y'all be good, man. I'm out. Peace.